Good evening, fight fans. Welcome back to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me, as always, Mr. Bobby Blunts. Bobby, we have finally made it. The long 6-week hiatus is finally over. The UFC is back in our lives and back on not back, but on a new network on Paramount Plus. We'll get our first taste of the Paramount era this Saturday night. UFC 324, headlined by Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. Say what you want, but this card is pretty stacked. But before we look into this card, for Saturday, Bob, we got to do some just note taking and things like that. It was announced today our good friend Don Davis stepping out and stepping down out of the PFL organization.
Yeah, that was kind of a one I didn't expect to wake up to, but definitely did. Saw the press release, and short term, I do think it is a good move for the PFL. They've kind of been going in a different direction from like the tournament format and everything like that. I think Don's main thing all along was really kind of bringing in different investors and different partners. Like that's the main thing that he really did there. It wasn't so much, too much with the fights. I know people would always rag on him for like his fight knowledge and stuff, but he definitely was more kind of like a businessman for the company. So, I'm very kind of excited to see what PFL is going to be doing. They got the event in Pittsburgh with, I think, Eblin and Brian Battle. So, just kind of doing more events and stepping away from the tournament structure. And to my knowledge, that card is on ESPN2. So they're getting a little bit more kind of public eye instead of like the ESPN limited stuff. And they are going to be going up head to head. I don't know if you want to call it that, but with Paramount, because I think that's the same night as the Izzy Joe Pyfer card. But yeah, it's going to be weird not having Don Davis around. I've kind of gotten used to like seeing him in the cage and stuff. Wonder what that one guy is going to do that got the Alfie tattoo with Don Davis in the background. He's forever immortalized.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to reach out to our friend Don Davis here, get him on the podcast, and see what's happening in his life after movement from the PFL. Also, it's funny. We had Mike Chandler on last Thursday and or last Wednesday, and we wake up to the very next day. Dana's like, doesn't seem interested in Chandler and Connor, and then there's reports of Jorge Masvidal versus Connor, and Jorge is kind of pushing that. Obviously, wants to be on this White House card, and Dana pretty much poo-poos that even more than the Chandler Connor fight. So, I keep thinking that we're gonna. I know you don't think that we're gonna get Connor on the White House card. I don't know if I'm in between. But it seems like who knows what we're getting here.
There's so many different ways to answer that. Masvidal, for one, I think he just saw a unique promotion opportunity to, talk about his bare knuckle heavyweight promotion on Ariel's show. He's like Chandler kind of said it. He's the one that put the news out there. It wasn't like it was really scooped from someone else.
Yeah.
That is kind of the new thing is, people campaigning for that. And yeah, you're right where I do not really see us getting Connor. However, I also do want to say, like, how everyone is talking about this card, like how big it's going to be and stuff. I think the fact that like the talk around it being Conor McGregor on the card should be very telling to people about like the quality of the card that we're gonna get. I know you saw Marab claiming that there are going to be no Russians on the card, so that can't like defend any of your like meaningless titles. So that's out. But at the same time, none of that's confirmed. But that was more brutal having Chandler answer those questions for Ariel than watching Paddy Pimblett just completely dominate him. It was that he did have an all-timer line though of I can build castles with the amount of rocks that have been thrown at me. So, you got to credit him for like sticking with his thing, but it the one thing I took away from that interview that was interesting is he pointed out that neither Chandler nor Connor really had a say in what was going to happen, and I think that was like really the one truthful thing that actually kind of came out of that interview.
Yeah, they don't. I think a lot of it will be, what the UFC wants, and we'll obviously see what happens. I mean, you get reports of like 7 title fights on this card. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? I know I'm going to be sick and tired of talking about it until it happens. It's going to be like UFC. Like I think you said it best. It's going to be like UFC 300 all over again. Everybody's going to want to campaign to be on this card and everything else. So we'll have to see. What's up, Rob? Yeah, so I mean, Bobby, we are back though, better than ever in the Paramount era, and the UFC has loaded up the deck for this fight card, and we'll take a look at pretty much. I mean, from top to bottom, this card is absolutely stacked. We get remember we talked about it, Josh Hokett and what he brings from the Contender Series, that great promo he had. Michael Johnson fighting Alex Hernandez. Our guy Energy, a big matchup here in the flyweight as well against Alex Perez. The guy we've kind of pubbed as, prospect of the year, Atib Gaethje. And then you still have Umar versus Davison Figueiredo, against Figgy to kind of close out the prelims. And then we get into the main card. I'll let you kind of talk about one or two of the prelims that you want to get into first.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to choose from. It is this well built when not only you lose a co-main event and the card is still strong from top to bottom, but I mean, not only that, like having Charles Johnson on the early prelims, like normally I would, say that's quite disrespectful, but at the same time, when you look at the effort they kind of did in building this card, you kind of get it. But I think he's criminally underrated. He's riding a really nice win streak. I'm glad to see them finally gain him an opponent that's, ranked, someone that's fought for the belt in the past. And, I know he's been calling for a top name for a while. So that is definitely the one I have circled throughout, I think, all the prelims, aside from probably the Umar Figgy fight. I just think 125 is really the most active and exciting division we currently have. And, I'm glad that they're starting kind of the year off with a fight of this caliber on it.
Yeah, you're right. Speaking of Energy, he's won 5 out of his last 6. So coming off the win over Loner Kavanaugh back in August. Rob kind of said the same thing. They lost the women's GOAT championship and no one blinked. Exactly. And part of that, Rob, I think, we've mentioned this in the 6 weeks kind of coming up into this, was not enough promotion of that fight and how significant that fight was. I'm kind of glad it's getting delayed so they can put a little more pub into it as well. Alex Perez, like you mentioned, Bobby, that Energy's taking on is no joke. 25-10. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, but is higher up in the rankings. So this was a good spot here for Charles to kind of get this, get a win here, climb back in the rankings. He has history with the champion. Has a win over the champion in Joshua Vance. So
KO'd the champion. I mean, that's
right.
and I should have led with. Thankful they got our man out of the apex, like having him fight in front of a crowd. I know, like in China, he fought in front of a crowd, but other than that, it's been like all apex. So good to finally see him in T-Mobile Arena.
Right. To me, that the main prelim is having Umar on the prelims is wild. So a guy that is 19-1, his own lone loss was the title fight back in a year ago exactly at this time, and here he is fighting Davison Figueiredo, the former flyweight champion. It's to me like it's a little like, I mean, that Figgy is not nowhere near. I think it kind of fell off just a little bit. He has 2 losses since moving up. When he's faced that tough competition in this bantamweight in the bantamweights, he's lost. Like lost to Sandhagen, lost to Peter Yan, but he's been able to beat some of these other guys. But when he's faced that elite competition in this division, he's fell short.
Yeah. What's the line on Umar? Is he a bigger favorite than Gutierrez or no?
Yeah, actually he is. I looked at it this morning. I want to give you the correct lines here. So Umar is minus 1,400.
Wow. Yeah, and JTR is like minus 1,000. So
yeah.
That's but at the same time, with everything you just said, I kind of agree with the line. Figgy is going to have a chance. I kind of was, all respect to Natalia Silva and Rose Namajunas. I was shocked that they're the ones that got elevated and they didn't just bump this up to the main card, especially when you consider, the co-main is with the exact same division. These are all fresh matchups.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just an easy swap because you had you were losing a female co-main, and they figured they'd swap it. I don't know if I don't think it would have to do with a ranking issue because like Umar is ranked 1, or if not,
Umar's ranked 2. Ranked 2. Yeah.
So but at the same time, that might be something we might want to consider in the future. Is there really a big difference from being on the main card opposed to the prelims in the Paramount era?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, who depends on who you ask, right? And that Justin Gaethje, he said that everybody keeps saying we're going to make more money. I'm not seeing one more dime from this. So like, it's interesting. You have a guy who's talking about fighter pay, who's fighting in the main event. Obviously, this is something that they don't like, right? We know that Dana and the brass don't want this to be a topic. And in the fact that he's like, I have 16 performance bonuses and they don't even equal $1 million, which is absolutely wild, right? So I think he's, Gaethje's kind of talking about like, where is this money at that they're talking? Because I'm not making any more. I don't really think it makes much of a difference, right? Prelims anymore or the main card, because you're not paying for the pay-per-view. We're all going to be able to sit down on Paramount Plus and watch it from the first fight to the last fight without anything.
Yeah, and it is absolutely a worthy fight to kind of take you into the main card of the Paramount era as well. And even though the line is that wide, I would still expect it, to be somewhat of a fight. Figgy normally, always puts up pretty decent performances. And even, I don't know, it's hard to like compare.
No, you're cutting in and out. You're cutting in and out. It's like foggy. Yeah. There you go.
What about now?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. And yeah, I'm just a little bit because has Figgy fought since the knee issue that he had with
Yeah, he fought,
Sandhagen or
yeah,
no?
yeah. He just fought. I just had it up. Hold on one second. Um, he fought back in. He beat Jackson back in October by a split decision. Montel Jackson.
Okay, yeah, that was like in can't
That was
remember
in
that.
Brazil.
It
Remember, that was
was in
the
Brazil.
yeah
Hmm.
Gamrot. That was the Gamrot Charles fight.
Yeah, and he absolutely did look a lot better in that fight. I mean, I remember picking against him,
Appreciate it.
just not knowing how he was going to kind of come off that injury. Um, but at the same time, Umar is kind of a different beast. But I do like the Umar taking this fight, and just keeping busy. Um, initially, I think he did that with thinking Marab, being booked. So who knows what he would do now with the him no longer being champion. But I do think it's kind of the smartest move to kind of get reps and stuff, because though he won the Batista fight, I think it only kind of helps him continuing to get in the cage there.
Yeah. I, so 10-7 here says he just talked to Figgy's team. He's ready. He's ready as fuck. So, hey, I mean, he should be. This is a must win for Figgy. You lose this, and I mean, it's hard to say it's a must win against Umar out of all people, but like, I just don't know where you go if you're Figgy if you lose here, because for the simple fact, uh, you know, because if you lose, like, you've already lost to all the top names in the bantamweight. So it's like, where do you go? This, he's kind of getting up there in age. Umar kind of talks about like he wants this one and maybe one more, and then it's time for another title fight, which I probably am 100% behind at that point in time. There's some people that are saying give him a title fight next, and we'll see what happens on Saturday night, how he looks, and I might slide over to that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of already know where I stand with this. I've been wanting to give him another shot, but at the same time, I do kind of appreciate him getting back in there. Um, but with Figgy getting this, you kind of can look at it. They gave Figgy the young up and coming guy, hoping they could put him over on him. He ended up getting the win. So, I mean, them giving him Umar is a really good opportunity for him, because if he is able to get the victory, he puts his name right in the line. So it is about as high stake for a fight as this division as you can get.
Yeah, I think so too. For both guys. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Kev, thanks for joining us. So, our esteemed other colleague is looks like he's about to enter now. As we get ready to, we'll warm right into the main card here. Wait, what's up, baby? Oh, he's getting ready. Not ready yet. We'll start off the main card. It opens up none other than an absolute banger in the featherweight division, Bobby. It is Arnold Allen, who is 20-3. We missed Arnold the Billy Goat Allen last year. I mean, he has not fought in quite some time. Had the hand issues. He has taken on John Silva 16-3. You see Arnold Allen, the slight favorite at plus, or slight dog at plus 225. The last time we saw Arnold Allen, to be clear, was July 27th, 2024. So it's been, I mean, what, a year, 12, 18 months since we've seen him. The last time we saw Silva, he was getting knocked out by Diego Lopez, who will be next week in an incredible fight. Arnold Allen has won 3 out of his last 5 going into this one. Your thoughts, Bobby, on Allen versus Silva to open up the main card here?
I mean, really good matchmaking. I was kind of wondering what they were going to do with John Silva, because you knew they were kind of hoping to itch him into that title shot until Diego just absolutely beat the shit out of him. And I've been wanting to see Arnold Allen for a long time. All of us have, so it's good to see him kind of get back in there. And I like this matchup really for both guys. This is a great way to kind of kick off the card for sure. And Silva's kind of always going to be aggressive and moving forward, but Allen has been in there with some of the best. I'm not sure if the line is just more because of Silva's power, or if it's just more because we haven't seen Arnold Allen, so the books don't really know how to value him. But to me, the line should be a lot more narrow than what it is, because I think Allen can give Silva some of the same problems that Diego gave him.
Yeah, 10-7. Nailed it right here. One of the tougher fights on this card. Quiet versus loud Tism. So, yeah, you got the loud autistic kid versus the quiet autistic kid. Wait, your thoughts here on the opening card, opening fight on the main card here, Arnold Allen versus the Lord John Silva.
Hey, first of all, just want to jump in and say, I miss the homies, man. Shout out to Bodkins. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Bobby Blunts. We need you. Basketball is about to get in full swing. Anyway, as we get into the card, bro, this is one of the ones I'm excited for. This is, of course, the first of two back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken, on pay-per-view on Paramount. So I'm really going to be interested in see how the dynamics change as far as the aesthetics go. Every once in a while, the UFC kind of surprises us with some new jazziness. So I'm really interested to see how it goes from ESPN to, what's going on Paramount. But back to the fight, Arnold Allen, John Silva. Where can I really start on this one? I don't. This is a great opening fight on the card for me. Just like we said, loudism versus quiet. I get it. But will we see John Silva kind of get the year started in the right direction for one of the most notorious groups of fighters in the UFC? I am truly baffled by this fight going, all the way to the judges scorecard, to be honest with you. In all honesty, Arnold Allen is one of the better fighters with the stand up and his grappling. We've seen John Silva last year do some things, especially on the ground. If I got to pick right now, you know what I'm saying? Just like you said, we're looking at the odds for it, it's kind of up there, bro. Like, straight pick 'em. I'm looking for Arnold Allen to do a little bit of that razzle dazzle. Give us some of that magic. Give us some of that Manchester magic that we've seen before from last year. Now, don't get me wrong. I do understand that Giga Chikadze fight wasn't the most exciting thing, but I'm pretty sure he's still coming off of a bit of a fighter's high from that one. And let's see if he can make it two in a row. So I'm going Arnold Allen once again. I really don't see this going to the judges' scorecards this time, but if it does, I could still see Arnold coming out on top with the points.
Appreciate it, 10-7. Bobby, who did you take? Now we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
You don't even have to ask me. I figured that's why you didn't check. Arnold Allen all day, baby.
Okay. I forgot you have a hatred for the nerds.
No. This ain't a
just Kyle Berharlo.
This is more. I don't know how. Like, what the fuck John Silva is doing. Like, you can't tell if he's extremely motivated or if he's kind of bickering with people back and forth on Twitter when he should be focused on a fight camp. And I just believe in Allen more to kind of put in the work if the fight gets messy, and think only Silva's way of doing it is getting a finish. But
Allen's never been finished.
Yeah, and I'm not ruling out that John Silva could win. After that Diego fight, I know Silva had his moments in that fight, but I just feel a lot more comfortable picking Arnold out. Like if I had the dog mask, we'd be starting the night off with the dog of the night.
This is your dog on the card. This is Bobby Blunt's dog on the card.
Bobby Blunt's dog.
For the odds, I would have to say, yeah.
Okay, I like it.
I'm just going to throw it out there too. Like 5,000 people and some 5,000 and some change voted on of course on Tapology, and 72% right now going with Silva. So the people
I
don't
think
agree
a
with
lot
us.
of people are forgetting how good Arnold Allen is because of the 18-month long layoff. Like this guy he's fought the best of the best. Like, I mean, he went all 5 rounds with Max Holloway. Holloway never could put him out. I don't, this is he really, the Mozart, when he fought Mozart, I thought he won that fight. Remember, it was the stupid, like, hands on the ground. Mozart was like kind of putting his little, like, 2 fingers on the ground type bullshit, and they lost that fight. That was the close fight he lost. Those are like his only like 2 recent losses. I think the 18-month long layoff is why the odds are kind of what they are. And we know everybody still raves about Jean Silva, and they should. Like, he's a legit dude, and he's put people's lights out. But we also, last time we saw him, he got his lights put out. So give me, I'm going to go with the Billy Goat, Arnold Allen, 888, baby.
Oh, damn, we just killed him. We
went
3 on him. No. Oh.
Yeah.
It's over.
Connor's bystander. Hey, stay tuned. We'll get to that fight. We'll let you know. Or if we'll be here. And then if you got some shit to do, you can't catch it live, come back and tune. But we'll get there. We got to build up into the main event. So, hold your horses. Don't blow your load too soon. You know what I mean? You got to hold it. You got to wait. You got to preheat the oven first, baby. Let's get into the next one. Bobby, you mentioned, like, why wasn't this fight? Why did this get bumped up? Maybe it got bumped up because, as Rose Namajunas put it today, it's the number 1 contender fight.
Oh,
winner gets the title shot against the Bullet. So Rose kind of confirmed that, and it is Silva versus Rose. Silva, a big favorite here, 19-5-1, -400, taking on Thug Rose, the veteran. I don't think a lot of people, I think this is a good prime spot for Silva because a lot of people don't know who she is yet. And I think they're going to find out who she is Saturday night as she takes on a legend in Thug Rose. Bobby, I'll start with you. Your thoughts here on this flyweight battle.
Definitely like it more than the original fight. Originally it was Rose versus Alexa Grasso, which is okay and all, but stylistically, I like Natalia Silva versus Rose a lot more. Rose has been in big fights in both sides of the division and is always pretty well prepared. I mean, I know she split from Trevor Whitman, but she still obviously took all that training with her. And Natalia Silva, the reason this is so intriguing for me, like, she easily could be sitting out and just getting Valentina next. But instead, she pretty much answered the call and said, hey, first Paramount show, I'll step in on a short notice when you're already kind of the number 1 contender, quote unquote. So you definitely got to respect that. This is another one where, like, the line seems very disrespectful, but kind of like the Umar fight. I kind of also get it just because of the age and the run that Silva has been on. So pick-wise, I probably will be leaning Natalia Silva. I think she will be able to get it done with it being a 3-round fight. But at the same time, it's really hard for me to ever count out Rose. So I know it's going to be an entertaining fight. And it is worthy of getting kind of the bump onto the main card. And that's a good point you made. They did, quote unquote, promise her a title shot. My only rebuttal would it be Is it a Dustin Gaethje title shot that they promised that they gave because of a scheduling conflict, or do they really mean that? Like, I would undoubtedly, if Rose beat Silva, it would absolutely be her next. So I think it's fair to deem it a number one title fight, but I will be going with Natalia Silva.
Yeah, Bobby mentioned the age. Silva the younger at 28, Rose 33, as well. The last time we saw Silva was back in May, where she beat Grasso, and then you have Rose. The last time she won was a win over Miranda Maverick, but had lost prior to that to Aaron Blanchfield, which was kind of controversial. I thought Rose had almost that was like a almost a draw. I thought almost, or you could have said that Rose won that fight. But how you see this one play out, Whit?
Man, this is one that we talk about it all the time here on the show. If you're not familiar, like every once in a while, you get some of the old guard that they throw out there just for you to kind of either that you have the opportunity to make a name with. And by no means is Natalia Silva someone who doesn't have a name. Just like Baka said, man, last 3 fights, all W's, and on some names. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, Jessica Andrade, Vivian Raju, what I'm saying, Alexa Grasso, all unanimous decision. So like somehow, some way, this is not like a to be slept on. You know what I'm saying, by Rose Namajunas. But the wear and tear, I think, on the older fighters sometimes shows, especially after this one. I think, if I'm not mistaken, so Rose took an L, but the fight prior to, she just now won.
That was the fight I was just mentioned. Yeah, Aaron Blanchfield. Yeah,
right. So it's always hit and miss, especially when it comes to female fighters. But a lot of times they come in with that momentum off of these fights, and this short notice, we didn't know who you were going to fight type stuff normally pans out for the younger fighters, especially when it comes to women of MMA. I like it for Natalia. I can truly say that. But if we go in all the way to the scorecard, Thug Rose has, I think, just a bit of the advantage and a bit of the the namesake to kind of like pull it off. She's been in the ring long enough. She knows how to divert, getting pummeled to death like Silva has done in the past. And then right about now, here comes the cat, of course, to disturb everything. But yeah, look, Tapology, 5,090 people went ahead and voted. Silva by 84%, 16% going to Namajunas. I'm right there in the same spot, man. Right now, I love Thug Rose. Going to go down as a Hall of Famer, a name that we'll never forget in the ranks of MMA. Period. Women's MMA. I don't want to just classify it, but just MMA in general. But right now, I think Silva's got the edge and is going to make a name for herself. And then title fight right around the corner, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I love Rose. I really do. I think she's just as like a fighter and just like is an incredible human being. And the things she does. I will always say I hate Pat Barry though. So, I just
had to throw that in there.
I do. I don't like Pat Barry. I feel like Pat Barry cost her the title when they lost to who's it with the most boring ass fight I ever saw in my life. Esparza. Yeah.
They blame Trevor for that.
I don't blame Trevor. I blame Pat Barry for that. Pat Barry.
Who game playing that one?
They're doing what we're doing. What we're supposed to. If they're booing, that's a good thing. Like we're all right. I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
The fact you remembered that word for word is so damning.
Right?
That immediately went back in my head when you said that. It's like, oh man, like
exactly. That's why I blame him. I don't blame. I kind of wish he was with Trevor. At least there was an adult in the room. So
I'm not gonna lie, and this might sound stupid, but if I knew for a fact he was still in her corner, I'd be a little inclined to possibly pick her. But at the same time, Silva is just so tough.
I think Silva's the younger, better fighter right now at this age in their career. So give me Silva by decision here.
Yeah, I'm with it. Silva by decision sounds great.
I think Silva wins the first and the second, and then Rose comes on in the third and takes the third, but a little too late.
A little too late. Yep, I'm with it.
Let's get into the next one, boys. It is a heavyweight bout. It is, Bobby's favorite heavyweight, Waldo Cortez Acosta, 16-2. Pretty good favorite here at minus 334 against the Black Beast, the Knockout King, Derek Lewis, 29-12. We know Waldo had maybe the best year of his career last year. What did he fight? Like 5 times and went six times.
6 times, 5 wins.
4-1 or something?
5-1. So the last time we saw him was just back in November. He takes on the Black Beast, Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis coming off 2 wins in a row. Last time we saw him was in July. He's actually won 3 out of his last 4 as Derek. He's kind of maybe figured this out. Derek Lewis, though, boys, is approaching. He is 40 years old. So, and Acosta is Waldo is 34. Bobby, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, just to clarify, I actually do like this fighter because most of the times when Botkins calls someone my favorite fighter, it is absolute blasphemy. But that actually is an accurate statement. Waldo has been on quite a roll. And I'm glad they're finally kind of giving him people up here. I mean, Derek Lewis has obviously won some, lost some, but yeah, you kind of know his game. His goal is to put you out. So
yeah, this is. I mean, outside of the not Spivak fight, but the other Russian, what's his name, Pavlovich fight. Like this is his second biggest fight.
Waldo. Yeah, definitely. And Waldo's game, kind of how he's always won these fights, is he just waits for these heavyweights to kind of get out of position or do something awkward, and then he capitalizes. And it's pretty intriguing to have him fight Derek Lewis because Derek Lewis's whole game is just kind of, hanging out there and fight. So, I mean, that is going to be pretty entertaining. I don't think there's any question why this is not, on the main card here. And wild enough, little side note of this, because I was watching a lot of the CBS on Paramount, like their CBS Sports, and they'll do segments and stuff like breaking down this fight. And I'm telling you, I think it's going to be very telling how they almost have an actual news apparatus now to tell us the information that you can tell they're thinking. Because without being prompted, I think it's that dude, Jake, not Brian Campbell, but his other partner. He was doing a segment with the sportscaster guy, and he instantly starts talking about how the winner of this could be fighting for an interim title. Just kind of, nonchalantly throwing that out there. And then bringing up Tom Aspinall
makes sense.
Having double eye surgery and so many things that, when it was on ESPN and shit, they didn't tell us fuck all about anything about the product. It would just show it and it's like, here, buy it. But I do think it is kind of interesting, the peel back of the curtain, because you can totally tell everything that they are telling these broadcasters is pretty much how they want it to go. It was even more telling when they were talking about the main event and the implications in that. But purely on the Waldo part, I found it really telling that they mentioned that kind of the winner of this could be in line for an interim. So take that as you will. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the fight itself, but I just saw that last night and I felt it kind of worth mentioning because I do think if Waldo wins this, he should be next.
He can't be next, though. He can't be.
I don't need to see fucking Cyril Gahn a blatant cheater. From what I've heard from the UFC, they ain't too happy with this motherfucker ruining the pay-per-view. And when you're seeing dudes get passed over that actually deserve it, save me the spilled milk crying that Cyril Gane would not get a rematch.
Let me ask you this. Are you saying Waldo versus Tom is next?
Waldo
in
versus
a perfect
Cyril
world, that's what I hope we get. Realistically, I do think it could be an interim title with Gane and Waldo or something.
Well, what about Pavlovich then? Because I mean, Pavlovich beat Waldo. You got to put him in there.
Yeah, well, again, the meritocracy of how it really works, that ain't really how they do it anymore.
Amen to that.
Why do you think Armin is on like 5 different streams? He's done more interviews this week than anyone on the card.
Yeah.
And you just kind of got to make yourself undeniable, and that used to be through fighting. But now they'll use kind of these other metrics to throw it in. So, throw everything out there. And Waldo Cortez, to bring it back full circle, has done all that with, the eye poke and selling it with the eye patch and stuff. You can't tell me that a more intriguing fight would not, like, you wouldn't be more excited for Waldo and Tom than you would Gane and Tom.
All right. Yeah. I don't know.
I know you need to see Tom do right by the cheating.
Yeah, Bikins wants to see Tom.
I don't blame you.
And I mean, who knows what happens with Alex and Jones? But who you picking here?
Derek Lewis lost a lot of weight. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life.
He always looks like he's in the best shape of his life, like before the fight, and then during the fight, he looks the same.
Yeah, very true. And I don't know. This is kind of one, like, if you want to dust some money on the plus 250, I don't think I could really blame you, because I could totally see Lewis being able to find the chin. But at the same time, Waldo has always been kind of good at, circling around and waiting to take his opportunity. So I think I'm probably going to ride the wave. It'd feel pretty dishonest running the Waldo Cortez fan club and not picking him. But at the same time, I could be damning him to the Black Beast. So we'll see. Very exciting fight.
Whit, your thoughts here?
Yeah, man. Even though the line doesn't say what I'm feeling, like this is really evenly split, man. We all know what the Black Beast is good for. We know what he's known for. But Waldo Acosta has come in and made a name for himself in a division where right now making a name is a good thing, because we don't have a king. Or I'm not going to say we don't have a king, but right now the king can't see. So, it's a great idea to have an opportunity to fight the knockout king and possibly prove him wrong. Now, we saw some of the backstory. Derek Lewis sometimes funny, but also extremely serious when he goes, if you know anything about Derek Lewis, and then of course it was speaking about Waldo Acosta, talking about, him being Dominican and him calling him out, and what I'm saying, the not black thing, like all of that can play into it, because I feel like Derek Lewis is one of those fighters who need some type of motivation. He knows he can knock a guy out. He feels it in his body. He knows what's going on, but to actually do it and go through it and take it serious, like, just like you say, Bikins, he looks good every match, but I think he has to have just a little extra oomph behind him, especially on something like this one where he can get caught slipping and it'll be night for him. I think, in all honesty, I'm looking for Acosta to come out and be agile. He's a big guy, but he's a little bit more shifty on the feet. We've seen him do a little bit of that wrestling, and of course it's almost the Achilles heel of Derek Lewis. But at the same time, we've never seen Derek Lewis stay on the ground too long or be in a position where he can't get up.
Other than like DC, right? Like,
yeah, but DC is DC's all world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we can definitely put that in a class of its own. But when I just picked for this one, man, I really feel like we're gonna get the Black Beast, not necessarily being the Black Beast, but playing possum. We've seen 2 or 3 of his last fights where he kind of fakes the injury, fakes taking a hard shot to the head, and then him being attacked. I forgot who did that last. Nascimento did it, right? And Teixeira too. They thought they had him. They gave him a really good shot. They tried to go in and close the deal, and then all of a sudden, pow! Derek Lewis wakes up. He's not even waking up. The possum wakes up, and he bites you in the ass for being a little too overzealous and getting too close. I feel like if there's an opportunity for him to do that, because Waldo Costa wants to win, he wants to make a name for himself. Derek Lewis will feed on that. He's by far, although he knows exactly where his strength lies, he's not dumb about it. I think this will be an opportunity for him to make the name that he wants to make, and possibly be thrown into that round robin we're talking about right now, where if they're going to have, interim fighters, interim champ, why can't we say Derek Lewis is Cyril Gane? Why not? Why not?
We already saw that a couple years ago. I don't need to see
it wasn't sexy back then, but now it kind of has a little bit of appeal in my opinion. Pavlovich, we seen the Pavlovich, pummeling and stuff before too. But the way that the world is, with no Tom Aspinall, with no John Jones, we have to make a heavyweight champion. And instead of totally fabricating one out of nowhere, why not give the opportunity, if he wins, to the knockout champion to take the belt, finally reign supreme, and maybe hold it, just be a placeholder for a little while. Say some funny stuff, talk about screwing his wife because he hasn't touched her in 4 or 5 weeks. Take his pants off, fling him in the crowd, and be entertaining just long enough for us to say, okay, Tom's back. Let's get serious.
So are you picking Derek Lewis?
Yeah, man, picking Derek Lewis for this one. Going with the knockout. Don't think it's going to last that long. I see Waldo Acosta trying to close and Derek Lewis playing like he's hurt, or faking him out, and then boom, catching him with a nice shot.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Derek Lewis. Probably one of my top 5 favorite fighters, just personality wise. He's funny on the mic. He's just one of them guys I always knew, probably never going to win the championship. He's fought for it, obviously, for the interim and the title. He's fought the who's who at the heavyweight, 40 years old. There was a time here just recently, you thought he was on the decline, but he's kind of built himself kind of back up. He's kind of getting healthier, I feel like, maybe as well. You know what, boys? My dog on the card is none other than the Black Beast. Derek Lewis gets it done inside 2 rounds, baby. Give me Derek Lewis at plus 250 as my dog on the card. The Black Beast gets it done Saturday night one more time.
That post-fight speech would be epic.
Oh, yeah. That not only would, yeah, can't wait for it. And there's a lot of talk. He's talking, he's saying that President Trump wants him to fight on the White House.
Hey, President Trump.
His last KO.
Didn't Trump call him, right while he was in the cage?
I think he called Dana because when they were raising his hand, he was on the phone.
Okay, I thought so, right? Yeah.
And
where you at, Jorge
even on the post-fight speech,
you're Trump's favorite fighter. It's Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is everybody's favorite fighter.
And in the post-fight speech, he said, "Oh, you got to get me cleared for it and all." So he's been one of the originals asking for it. I think win or lose, they'll have him on that card. It's kind of the easy no-brainer.
Imagine Derek Lewis taking his shorts off and throwing at a dignitary from Nigeria or something like that. That would be Ukraine.
Hey, yeah, join the family, bro. Get the Derek Lewis shorts thrown at you.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Smell the Black Beast right quick.
They would probably tell him not to do that, but by God, I hope he does.
Yeah, they'd be like, don't throw your cup in the crowd this time.
It's like the Queen of England in the head, too.
The Queen of England.
Boys. Yo, that'll be viral for life.
I could only imagine. That's a comedy skit right there for sure. Let's get into the co-main event. One guy who was super happy that Kayla and Amanda fight was off was Sean O'Malley, because he gets slides into the co-main event. As he was kind of joking about it, but I thought the video was pretty funny. Sean, 18-3. The last time we saw him was the back-to-back losses to Merab. He hasn't fought anybody. Didn't fight anybody in between those people, right? And hasn't fought since the title fight to Merab. And he is taking on Song Yadong. Song is 22-8-1. Song is the slight dog at plus 170. Bobby, before you, is this fight, is Sean, is is it just off the two losses, or is Sean losing some, star value here?
No, I just have always kind of thought that people exaggerated that a little bit, because they always looked at him as kind of like the UFC's golden boy, like who they would prefer to be champion and stuff. But with the layoff, I think he just mainly just took the time and stuff, because at the Merab fight, he wanted to take the rematch. But, I know he's like made comments for his future and stuff. It wouldn't shock me if he fought out his contract, because if you think about it, he's one of that seems to have really monetized themselves outside the cage.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, they do have him on this first card for a reason. And I think it is by design, trying to get a little bit of a jump on having more American fighters, because let's be real, they've got very little these days.
Yeah, it's wild to think that Sean O'Malley's 31 and Song Yadong's 28.
Yeah, it is wild.
Like, I never would have. I would have thought Sean was younger, or closer to the. So it's a little wild on the age.
Well, he
front.
missed time with that suspension too. That is
kind
of the main issue, probably.
Who you like in this one?
I can really see this going like either way, especially in the past. We've seen Song have success with the grappling, but O'Malley is a little bit more lengthier. I think he'll kind of be able to keep the distance. And I'm probably leaning O'Malley with this. It wouldn't shock me if Song could get him down, but with it also being a 3-round fight, I think that kind of favors O'Malley to take 2 rounds off him as is. So I'm leaning O'Malley pretty heavily on this one, but I could see Song still being able to. I think if Song is able to win, it would be like by submission or something, and that's not very easy to do. I know Merab did it, but I would probably lean like O'Malley decision, I would think.
Yeah, Song's not like a sub artist to me. Like he's always in these wars as well. Last time he won was back in February, but that was the Henry Cejudo fight. Kind of, if you remember, that was like the eye poke fight. Before that, he lost a unanimous decision to Peter Yan, which was a fun fight as well. So, Whit, your thoughts here on O'Malley versus Yan?
Yeah, man. So first off, I think this is a really even matchup. Just like you mentioned, Bakis, we don't really know Song Yadong for being the big submission, wrestle, ground and pound type of guy. Can he fight on the ground? We've seen him do a little scrambling. But he's made his name in the stand-up game. And for me, this is actually a little like way more even than it looks.
Favorable matchup here, I think, for O'Malley's style, though.
Yeah, it's made. This fight is made for O'Malley to catch Song Yadong off guard. For us to remember the sniper that O'Malley was off the hands. You know, there are only a few guys who, when standing, can pinpoint strikes and just almost point you out necessarily. And we might get the opportunity to remember that Sean O'Malley is one of those people. Before we saw him get pummeled by an outrageous Georgian machine multiple times, we have to remember that Sean O'Malley really went out there on multiple occasions, put on really good entertaining fights, but probably didn't put his foot on the gas like he was supposed to in a couple of them too. I think that, the layoff, some good rest, a refresh camp, and some fresh cornrows will do Sean O'Malley well. And in reality, man, this may be. I'm not going to say like nothing too crazy like, oh, this is his road back, but this is at least an opportunity for him to get a nice clean win, because I think any fighter losing to the same person in the same manner twice in a row would take a little bit of wind out your sails. And I think seeing a fresh face, feeling, if anybody knows anything about competition like that, like getting someone else in the opposition of you right now, instead of the person that was somewhat dominating you, and I say dominating in a classy way. You know what I mean? I think this will give Sean O'Malley the push he needs to actually come out and do what we know him for. And just before I give you my pick, so of course, me, I'm looking over here at Tapology, man. Right now, 5,170 people got O'Malley at 85% with the win by decision. I kind of see it happening that way. O'Malley has won by decision and by knockout, but I'm not looking for him to go out there and try to end the fight and possibly get himself caught. I'm looking at it to be cautious, to try and find his spots and to shoot like he's been doing in the past, and that's what made him great. And when he shoots, he normally does not miss. And I can't wait to get 2026 Sean O'Malley started, so we can get more of what we know him to be. Not necessarily a champion. Top of the division is murderers right now. I don't think he could do that. But can he beat Song Yadong? First pay-per-view on Paramount 2026? Hell yeah. So I'm rocking with Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, I mean, Song's tough to put out. Like, he's not a guy that's easily put out. How about this? This is O'Malley's first 3-round fight since October 22nd, 2022, when he fought Peter Yan. So it's been some time for O'Malley for a 3-round fight. So do like, and Song is tough. Like, I mean, he's not a guy that is, the last time he was put out was by Ricky Simone back in April 23. So by TKO there. So like, it's not like he is not somebody that is tough. It is very tough to put out. I take that back. He beat Ricky. He did lose by doctor stoppage, TKO to Corey Sandhagen, because his eye was all jacked up. I remember that. Other than that, like, he has not ever been really put down. So that shows you how tough he is. I like O'Malley here by decision. Give me the Sugar Show to get it done, but I think Song's too tough to get him out of there.
So Bobby, write that down. So we are murdering Sean, and who else did we unanimously pick? Arnold Allen, and Sean O'Malley, both dying on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I agree more with like the betting line than like Tapology picking 85%. Maybe what Moops just pointed out there, like O'Malley on points is probably like the easiest choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do absolutely think the line is kind of where it should be with that. But yeah, especially with the 3 rounds. That's kind of why I'm picking O'Malley. But Song's tough. So, it should definitely be entertaining. And obviously they weren't going to bump it up 2 rounds, moving it up to the co-main slot. But, at least they'll get some extra eyeballs on it, hopefully, because of that.
Yeah, I agree. We get to the main event. It's for the interim lightweight title. There's a lot of talk before we even talk about this fight about maybe these guys, maybe Ilya's not next for either one of these guys. Bobby, I want to get your thoughts on that, and then I'll kick it to you with.
Oh God, you're just throwing them at me today. I mean, it's no secret. You already know how I feel about that. In my mind, this fight on Saturday is a really good fight between, 2 guys that need to fight, and I'm excited for it. In my mind, there is no interim title, but I would have to think they want the winner of this to fight Ilya.
If Ilya comes back, though, that'll be the question.
Yeah, if you asked me a week ago, I would have been leaning to him possibly vacating because it was seeming like he wouldn't. Now he actually himself gave a month, which I know really doesn't mean shit, but with it still being in the middle of the year, I think that'll be enough target date. He already kind of achieved with what he wants. I mean, they're hoping to put an interim title on one of these 2 guys. So that will be his opponent. And unless some crazy thing happens, I don't think there's ever going to be a scenario where they hold the interim guy out for Ilya to fight Armin or anything like that. I would think the winner of this fight on Saturday would be next to fight Ilya.
What your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I'm right there with the gang right now, man. This is technically, number 1 elimination right here, man. Who's gonna win? I think easily. I think easily the determination in which the fight makers and even Ilya himself will validate whether or not he vacates or decides to fight comes from how this fight ends. If it's a wash, if it doesn't look like it's even worth his time from maybe let's say Paddy Pimblett, I think that is even to Ilya Taporia, that's probably not what he would want. It's not sexy. It's not the sexy fight. Now, on the other hand, if we get dominant performance from Justin Gaethje, one of the most electrifying fighters in the UFC history, Mr. Bonus, Mr. Make Noise, Mr. Point at the middle of the floor and get knocked out because he's a thug like that. That might seem a little sexy to somebody. Y'all have heard me say on multiple occasions, when you get to a certain point, you gotta have something to wake up for and go train. I think that we've seen examples of that when it comes to John Jones. We've seen examples of that when it comes to Izzy before he was taken off of his mantle. I think it's something similar if we were to say, okay, Gaethje goes out there and proves he's still Mr. Electrifying, Mr. Hands On, and gets rid of the young up and coming stud who is Paddy Pimblett, and makes enough noise for Ilya Taporia to not make the money decision of vacating and moving on up, and staying to fight Justin Gaethje sometime in the summer. So once again, I think it really depends on how this fight is closed out.
I think the UFC wants Paddy to win this fight because they can sell Ilya. Ilya and Paddy have the back history. So to me, that's the fight that they want. So,
more than Gaethje and
the only other person's Armin. Ilya and Armin, or Paddy and Armin. You can sell. I think Justin Gaethje, I think they gave him this fight, because he is Mr. Highlight. He is he is all the things that you said, but he doesn't have the history with the guys. He's up there in age. So I do think that if Paddy wins, the biggest fight would be him and Ilya.
Hey man, shout out to Armin
Sarukian. If it's not going to be Armin.
Yeah, shout out to Armin Sarukian. Missed his opportunity when he got hurt, I think.
Go ahead, Bobby.
That's the whole reason they booked this for sure. But to piggyback on one thing Witt said there, he mentioned John Jones and he mentioned Izzy. Both of those men defended their title consecutive times.
Yeah.
And Ilya Taporia, has not. So I don't really see a scenario of him going to 170 because he has a lot of work to do in this division. Now, if that means him just beating Paddy or Justin and then vacating and moving up, best of luck with that. Like, I saw a vision for it at 155, but at 170, I just think the size would be way too much of an issue for there. And there are a handful of fights that I want to see Ilya do in 155. And he might be kind of picking and choosing how they want to use them and stuff. And that, because originally they were going to do Ilya versus Paddy on Saturday. That was the event. And then Ilya is dealing with all the personal shit. So they kind of killed two birds with one stone and giving Gaethje this, not having to retire.
Gaethje's 37 too, and I think if you're like 35-0 and in like 35 and above or whatever it is, there's some stat out there if you're in your mid to late 30s in a title fight, they ain't winning.
Yeah, that's actually more for defending champions, and this is just a fight in my opinion, but I understand that stuff.
Yeah. We'll go around, Bobby, who you got winning?
Another one I could really go back and forth on. I rewatched the stuff for the end of the year show, and seeing that Gaethje Fiziev fight, Gaethje still looked pretty good. He's still moving. He's definitely got just a few more. So that's kind of the elephant in the room with that. And then with Paddy, he's just such a big 155er. I mean, the last fight with Chandler, he looked so much bigger than him. Like, he was just dwarfing him in size, just bullying him, moving forward. I mean, when I went back and watched the Jerry Gordon Paddy fight, I almost kind of have to throw the tape out a little bit because Paddy was so much smaller back then, and he's really just grown into his frame. So I think his cardio is going to be more than enough. I'm not really concerned about any. It's really just, I would think that Gaethje is the better striker and is, more comfortable in certain exchanges. But at the same time, you got the age factor with Paddy. So it's really one I keep going back and forth with. I don't know. I just think Gaethje has very clean uppercuts. And if he's able to use those to his advantage, he can get some damage off.
Scousers don't get knocked out, Bobby.
Well, I think Paddy's goal is kind of going to be to hopefully move him back and get him up against the fence and try to use that to really get to his back more than him really taking him down and stuff. So I don't know. I find it quite ironic. These odds you're showing me here is Gaethje is plus 187. So
yeah,
you got him on the plus murder. I'm going to go with the wisdom and experience, even though I really think that could be the bad call. I would say Paddy is favored to win this fight. I do think he should be favored. But I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje still figuring out a way to get that done.
Witt, your thoughts here?
Yeah, bro. I hate to do this to Justin Gaethje. as somehow I feel a sense of uniformity happening. Let's not get it twisted, man. Paddy Pimblett put on some of the most entertaining fights in the last 2 years, which deservedly get him to a spot right here in the main event, which he's been the main event guy before. Um, you know, I have a hunch, and I my hunch is that Paddy Pimblett is going to be that fighter who we look back and go, okay, and we've talked about this before. Some fighters need one loss to shake the tree, and then they take off. The next 2-3 fights, they're ready to go to the title. They're on another way. And I think at one point in time, if we look back at it, right, um, you know, Paddy has already had somewhat of an awakening. When we look back at his last 2 years, maybe Paddy's already had one of those moments where we go, okay, he's going to come back from this and he's going to be better. And we were, I think we were all correct. He came back, he was better, and he changed the way that he fought and how he went about training. And then, of course, we have the Paddy Pimblett we know currently right now to this day, crazy win streak. But the experience of being in the moment, of being where the brass ring is right there. I got to get at to Justin Gaethje, bro. I got to. I really can't steer away from it in my mind. He made all of that, and I consider it real Drew Breesian. That I don't know if that's a word. I feel like it's real Drew Brees like. He made all of that fuss about retiring, and y'all remember that. If we all
yeah, that's why he said he was title fighter retirement.
Right, and y'all, if y'all remember,
that was his manager. That was Ali saying that shit, not really him.
And those are the big red flags to me that really make me wary about picking him. So I totally hear that.
Yeah. And the thing, and for me, like when he's screaming that as if to say, I think he may smoke the next person he fights, and I'm not saying smoking as if 5 rounds is nothing, but I'm really thinking that he's ready to shut all the non-believers up, just with this one fight. And I gotta go Justin Gaethje on this one. I'm still gonna go points. I don't think it's gonna, Scousers don't get knocked out. I'm with it. But I think the levels in which Justin Gaethje could take it to the ground, to the stand up, to the clinch, where we've seen him, do the Muay Thai clinch, get that plum, get the back of your head, and somehow, uppercut you to sleep, or get you off your game a little bit. I think that's where I see Justin Gaethje taking it, because muddy waters are scary to get into, and Justin Gaethje's been in the muddy waters before, and I think we got to see if Paddy can get through it. So Justin on this one. Sorry, Paddy, I love you. I know you're going to be a great fighter forever, but I'm going with the old man one time.
I think you want to look at this fight. Justin probably wants this fight to stay standing, right? Like, you got to favor Justin in the stand-up game. I favor Paddy on the ground and in the jiu-jitsu. And I like Justin. He's a hell of a fighter. I just think he's long in the tooth, and it's time. So you guys are both going Gaethje. Well, your boy's going Paddy to Paddy, Paddy to Paddy. Give me Paddy to Paddy on Saturday night to be the new interim lightweight champion, Paddy to Paddy, baby.
Yeah, if I was betting it, I probably would bet Paddy by submission. I think that's way more value than the money line.
Agreed.
And I do think if he wins, it would probably be that way. So that's way more value than the minus 180 to me.
I'm with you guys. If it gets into an uncomfortable place on the mat, Justin is at a deficit, but I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna try to have his way to not be there. But if he does, man, that's Pamblett's strong suit. We've seen it already.
Yeah, just the size difference is the thing I'm most worried about. Like when they match them up, like right now doing the face-offs, they're drained and cutting weight. But the night of the fight, when they're in the cage, I expect there to be a massive, size difference.
Yeah, Paddy is plus 100 by submission.
Ooh.
See, like barely zero
Ooh.
value in it. It's just straight even money.
Even monies.
That's not that shocking.
And then look,
Gaethje by KO or TKO plus 350.
And then of course on Tapology, man, 5,111 people voted Paddy Pimblett by knockout. The sales that's 63% by knockout is what they 63% of them said Paddy Pimblett for the win, but 75.9% of them think it's going to be by submission. So Paddy with the sub, man. Paddy with the sub is what the people are thinking.
All right, yeah. I can't wait. It's been a long 6 weeks without the UFC in our lives. And don't forget, we got a little Zuffa boxing Friday night. The return of Callum Walsh. It'll be the debut of Zuffa boxing on Paramount Plus. It's the lovely, glorious, mighty Meta Aplex. So check that out.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'll probably be tuning into LFA first. Their last, their debut card on their new Vice deal. Last week, they had in the main event this guy, Arslan Belov. I'm probably butchering his name. Big ass heavyweight Dagestani. This dude is going to be a problem. I think he'll probably be UFC champion within 2 years.
Ooh, shit.
He just looks like Chimaev, but on steroids. And I mean that jokingly. Like he's just like so much bigger. And, it's a first round submission and he won the heavyweight title and they're asking him about wanting to defend his title. And he's like, I don't know, brother. UFC, give me like you can clearly. So I would expect to see him on Contender. And even with them giving the Daggies a closer eye, I think they'll be inevitable that he eventually gets signed. But they added seats to the Zuffa boxing. Hopefully they stay for the Apex. But I'm going to be tuning into that for scientific purposes. It sure as hell ain't for the main event. I mean, but we all knew it was going to be Walsh But yeah, I'm optimistic that the signings they've done or the news about him is kind of more interesting than this event. But it is kind of interesting just from the fact that this is the first event that we're actually getting on Paramount because it's a day before the UFC. So we're checking out.
Yeah, we're checking out. Whit, let the people know what you got going on the rest of the week before we get up out of here.
Man, yeah. So we're gonna be jumping off with a brand new episode of In the Hoop on Friday. So make sure you check us out right there on Rec Room Sports at THEE Rec Room Sports Hub on YouTube. And then I'm excited about some boxing, man. Next week, some regular old not Rock'em Sock'em. We got on the 31st, we got Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. A long-awaited fight because, of course, from time to time, boxers dance around the opposition, but you can't do it no more. We got Teofimo, we got Shakur, January 31st. Can't wait to talk more about it next week.
You're not excited about Zuffa boxing? They get.
I didn't say that, man, but I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it out, bro.
It's like I'm excited for boxing next week.
We'll be back. Actually, we decided we're gonna do a quick Sunday recap show of this card. It'll be 1 o'clock your time, noon my time, so 12 o'clock Central. We will do a special post show of UFC 324 due to the back-to-back pay-per-views because we wanted to give 325 our full week next week on Wednesday. So tune in to catch us out on Sunday at noon Central Time. We'll do a post show. as far as kind of talk about the actions that were. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, share. We'll see you then, folks. For my guy Witt and Bobby Blunts, I'm Bodkins. We'll catch you. Enjoy the fights and have a great weekend. And if you're like me, try to stay warm. It's supposed to be fucking freezing out here. So later, y'all.
Freezing in Florida too, baby.
Shut up. It ain't. No. It ain't. No. Neither one of y'all let to talk about it being fucking cold.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.